Hey everybody, this is a clip from the latest episode of the Randi Rhodes Show. If you want the full episode, you can watch live on Free Speech TV, Dish Channel 9415, DirectTV 348, Sling, Roku, and Apple TV.
Mary had a little man.
The fault. We believe that all men are created equal.
To the magnificent mosaic that is America.
From radio beacon to radio beacon. I have a dream. Change has come to America.
Believe me.
Knock, knock. Who's there?
It's a figment of your imagination.
Randi Rhodes Show.
Turn up your mind.
The president has just told, I don't see how you could believe any differently. The commander-in-chief has just told the world, Americans, U.S. troops, U.S. military families, none of it matters. It is hard to see how a commander-in-chief gives that message to the U.S. troops. Remember, there are still hundreds of U.S. troops in very considerable danger inside Syria in a very high threat environment until the Pentagon in the coming days can, in fact, get them all out of there. There are a number of hostile parties, the Turks, the Syrians regime, the Russians, Syrian-backed, Turkish-backed militias tied to al-Qaeda and ISIS. All these people are moving around the battlefield, and there are a decreasing number of U.S. military troops. Very significant challenge to keep them safe until the Americans can get out of there. A bit mystifying to me, at least, why an American commander-in-chief didn't start with, stay away from our troops, they will be kept safe, don't mess with them. I think it's fair to say the Pentagon might have expected a very strong public message from the President of the United States that he has their back, a very verbal message that he will see to it that they are all kept safe until they get out of there. I'm not sure I heard those words from the commander-in-chief.
No, you didn't. This is what you heard.
In the meantime, our soldiers are not in harm's way, as they shouldn't be, as two countries fight over land. That has nothing to do with us. And the Kurds are much safer right now, but the
How
Kurds
is that
know how to
possible?
fight. And as I said, they're not angels. They're not angels. If you take a look, you have to go back and take a look. But they fought with us. We paid a lot of money for them to fight with us, and that's okay. They did well when they fought with us. They didn't do so well when they didn't fight with us. When I refused to allow the Americans a year and a half ago to fight with the Kurds against Iraq, I said, wait a minute. This country, stupidly, just spent a fortune on fighting for, with, around Iraq. Nobody knows how they spent it.
No, you don't
but
know.
They spent, actually, we're in the Middle East now for $8 trillion, if you can believe that stupidity.
What is he? This is what the commander-in-chief, this is the message he told the world today. This is the message he sent to our soldiers. This is the message that he sent to our Air Force, our Marines, special operators. This is the message he sent to our partners in, rounding up and guarding ISIS, the Kurds. Go fight over land. You're safer now than you were before. American troops, they're out of harm's way. None of that is true. And when you start lying about war and peace, when you find yourself, BSing your way through, how troops are about to get slaughtered, I say it's time you frog march him off the freaking playing field and put him in a prison and let him die in jail. This is treason. This is actually aiding and abetting a foreign enemy. This is helping Russia. This is helping Syria. This is helping ISIS. This is helping the Turkish militias who are Al-Qaeda. I mean, it's just the sickest freaking thing. And most Americans don't know foreign policy at all. They just know that they're anti-war, which is fine. I'm anti-war too, which is why we did the right thing by not invading Syria when he was murdering his own people, but instead looking for trusted partners to train. And believe me, we auditioned a whole bunch. That's why I keep telling you, this whole operation in Syria was so well done by our intelligence community that they were there seeking out, partners to help in that region. So we didn't have to do it. So we didn't have to go. So Europe didn't have to go. First, we put together a sanctions regime. We got the European Union. We got all of our NATO allies. We got the Arab League. Everybody in the world pretty much aligned against what Assad was doing. And when that didn't stop him and he gassed his own people, Obama said, I'm not sending American troops in there. People mocked him. You said there was a red line. Yeah, he did. But it didn't mean that American troops would go in. It meant that we would look at our intelligence operators and we would say, which of the people that you have scouted out are the best partners to train in this battle? And they said the Kurds. They were invaluable in Iraq and they'll be great in Syria. All they're going to want is just a little bit of protection in northern Syria when all this is over. Done. And we gave our freaking word. And they did it. And 11,000 of them died, and 24,000 of them were wounded. And now we got 1,000 guys that were helping them learn our systems and patrol and do other things to, help guard ISIS and help guard the families of ISIS and all that. And the president just decides that, Putin. And by the way, when all this was going on, Putin was looking for a way out of Syria. Don't you remember that? Putin had it. He didn't see he didn't see a path to victory in Syria. He was partnered with Assad the whole time because he wants support in Syria, which he has, and he wanted to keep that. And so now all of a sudden we have a crazy president who turns around and says to Putin, who couldn't see a path forward, I'll give you the whole thing. What is going on, people? What is going on?
What has happened in Syria is yet again Donald Trump selling folks out. And in this case, he sold out the Kurds, who, yes, fought with us and thousands died in our fight against ISIS. And let's be clear, what Donald Trump has done because of that phone call with Erdogan is basically giving 10,000 ISIS fighters a get-out-of-jail-free card.
Yep.
And you know who the winner is in this?
Yep.
There are four. Russia, Iran, Assad, and ISIS. This is a crisis of Donald Trump's making, and it is on a long list of crises of Donald Trump's making, and that's why do gotta go, and when I am commander-in-chief, we will stop this madness.
So that was Kamala. Now let's listen to Lindsey Graham. Okay, this is today. Lindsey Graham was talking to the special representative for Iran, Brian Hook, and he was getting information about our policy in Syria, okay? And, 32, but 32 is Trump. Yeah. 31 is the long one, and then you have 32. Oh, I see, okay.
All right, Mr. Hook, is Assad a friend of the United States?
No.
Do you consider him a war criminal?
Yes.
Okay. Do you think is he aligned with Iran?
Iran has been supporting Assad
without
over
Iran
the last 8 years.
Helping Assad.
The last
he
8
would
years.
not be around because Hezbollah came to his aid when nobody else would. You agree with that?
Hezbollah.
Yes.
I
Iran
think
was
you're
an
a
early
good-
supporter of Assad.
Yeah. Well, Russia and Iran keep Assad functioning. Yeah, you're a good man. You're a good choice for this. So my questions are really not about you and your policies. It's about this president's policies. I could not agree more with Senator Markey. This is the most screwed up decision I've seen since I've been in Congress. When the president said today, Syria, the invasion of Turkey, Turkey's invasion of Syria is really of no consequence to us. Do you know why we sanctioned Turkey, if that's true, Mr.
Right.
Hook?
The president did threaten sanctions on Friday, and has imposed some of them on Monday.
And I cheered them on. I don't know how in the world Pompeo and Pence bring an end to the bloodshed before they leave the president's Syria. If Syria wants to fight for their land, that's up to Turkey and Syria. So I view the situation on the Turkish border with Syria to be, for the United States, strategically brilliant. I don't see anything brilliant about this. Do you believe the Kurds are safer today than they were before Turkey's invasion?
That's a question for Ambassador Jeffrey.
Okay.
I understand there's a member briefing happening. I'm
Yeah.
the special representative for Iran.
Fair enough, fair enough.
And I can answer the Iran questions on Syria.
Okay,
but
fair enough. Okay, do you see Iran moving in to take the oil fields in Syria if we withdraw all of our forces?
I have not seen any intelligence on that yet, but that doesn't
Do you think that would be a logical move for Iran if America abandons Syria?
Iran's interests in Syria are mostly around supporting Assad and creating a strategic.
Well, if the oil fields are there for the taking and we leave, what's the likelihood that Iran would go in, and would it matter?
That's not something which I'm at liberty to speculate on.
Okay. I'll speculate. Iran is massing at the border as I speak. If we withdraw all of our forces and abandon the oil fields, Iran will surely go in and seize the oil fields. It will undercut the maximum pressure campaign, and our friends in Israel will be in a world of hurt. Do you agree with this? If Iran gets stronger in Syria, it's to the detriment of Israel.
Yes.
And there you have it. Why is the president doing the bidding of Russia, Iran, Bashar al-Assad, and Turkey? Why is he creating a block of power like that? Somebody's going to have to bring up this word bribery.